Okay, hello again. You can see that nice V for Vizio is loading there. So I just powered on my television. This is going to be a new video. Talk a little bit about my Panasonic Blu-ray 3D home theater system, and also talk about some other things. So to begin with, this is actually the GUI or graphics user interface for the Panasonic home theater surround sound system, and I can show you right here. We actually have the box, and of course you have right speaker, center speaker, left. That's actually the subwoofer. That would be the 0.1 of the 5.1. We have rear left, rear right, and I actually have to get these stands, which they didn't come with it, but it's fine, no problem. And actually, one thing that I really enjoy about the this Panasonic theater surround sound system is that it actually wirelessly sends out the signal for the rear speakers, so you don't have that sort of messy wires over here. You don't see any wires going over here, because basically for the rear, this speaker right here, and of course the other one, this little box right here wirelessly connects with the main receiver. So that's pretty cool. So that's one thing, you know, the whole 3D surround sound viewing experience really adds to the actual movies or whatever you're doing, whether it's gaming or watching documentaries or movies. It's all good. So let's now take my remote here. I don't know if you can see, but this is the remote for the Panasonic, and I'm gonna load. Before I do that, let's load Grand Canyon Adventure. I don't know if you can see that, but it's actually a 3D IMAX film. I'm going to load it right now. Okay. One moment. Okay. Let's see here. Let's put this right in the Blu-ray player. Close that. Oops. Close. And of course you see my avatar 3D happens to be right next door, but I'm not going to play this. I think it's a great movie. I think folks pretty much know about Avatar. Looks great on this television, of course, in 3D. That sort of thing. Okay, well, the movie's starting. Let's put this right back on my tripod. See what happens. We'll hit on the status here. It does say full HD 3D. Now what you're looking at is actually 2 dimensions, but the TV again is actually fed 3 dimensions worth, so there's actually, instead of 1920 by 1080, it's actually 3840 by 1020p. But right now the TV is only showing 1920 by 1080, so if I hit the 3D button right here, we'll select 3D. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this is 3D, and you can see now everything's kind of doubled. And let's take my glasses. These are Real D 3D. And if we put it around the lens, you'll notice very clearly it kind of clears things up. You can actually read what it says over there now. So that's pretty cool. That's one eye, that's the other. So each eye is slightly askew to cause the 3D effect. But again, I just wanted to point out, it definitely says full HD 3D. So figure that one out. So the picture doesn't get better than this when it's 3D. So using a Blu-ray player, you have some wonderful picture. Now, some folks back up their movies, and in my case, I like to do that, and I usually back it up in 1920 by 1080p. As you can see, one to the other. I think it's kind of cool. Interestingly, when I look through the glasses here, you do see kind of these strange lines, but I'm telling you, when the movie's going or whatever, you really don't notice any of these strange lines, but there is these kind of polarized lines that occur, but your brain fills it in, basically. One half, the other half. Okay. So I also wanted to show you one other thing. In addition to hit the home button here, and we'll switch it up here. So I also have, of course, I've talked about in my other videos, a Viewsonic Media Player. And so let's power that on. Powering on, I just have to use a different mode for that. And of course, looking back at the television, I have to now, using my remote, select the proper input. Of course, the Viewsonic is connected via HDMI to the Panasonic. So yeah. And of course, the Panasonic is then connected via HDMI to the television. So it kind of acts as a relay system, as it were. Okay, so we selected HDMI. Hopefully the media player will load now. I'll just show you one other thing here. I really enjoy this media player because, again, I can put my music, videos, pictures all on a very large hard drive. So let's select Blu-ray 3D movies. Of course, I have The Lion King ready to go. It's 1080p, side by side 3D, and it's actually half side by side. I'm gonna look at that real quick. And you can see the Disney logo loading. Now, again, it's half 1920, right? Let's click the info button on my remote here. See, it's 1080p, and of course the picture is just playing in half. So the Blu-ray will have full. This is kind of cuts it in half. Some people have said, well, the polarized TVs that use the polarized glasses won't really display in full 3D, which I kind of agree. However, something to be said about having, again, a 3840 by 1080p picture being shot to the TV versus a 1920 by 1080p picture shot to the TV, which is happening right now. Anyway, of course, to display, and so it's pretty good, though, I have to say. So let's take my 3D button there, select 3D, side by side, and we're seeing the intro to The Lion King with the glasses right over it. Another great thing about the Panasonic surround sound system is that, of course, with the HDMI cable, both audio and video is fed into it. And so if we look at the info here, we could say track 1 for audio is actually DTS, which is digital theater sound or digital theater system, 6 channels. And so basically the media player, working in conjunction with the Panasonic audio player, basically is projecting in all 6 channels right now, including the rumbling of the elephants walking by. So all that's coming out right now. So that's kind of cool. went one to the other. It's polarized, not polarized. You could see blurry without the glasses. Cool. Of course, they just re-released this movie in 3D, which is pretty cool. Did pretty good at the box office too back in September. Anyway, so that's that. TV is still displaying in 3D, so I need to put it back to 2D. One other thing is we also have the Lantern Festival, so you can, using the media player, I can watch a lot of different things. We can get that going real quick. And I also want to point out that this television is great also in general. I mean, you don't need to watch 3D. In fact, most of the content I watch on this television is not in 3D. It's just simply because there's not that much 3D out there to begin with. But it's pretty cool. 3D, not 3D. Let's go back to this one here. Gotta make this back into 2 dimensions. And again, it's a kick-ass sound system, which is nice. And just want to point out here, right now, let's select, change the settings. I don't know if you can see that, but right now it says Dolby Digital. Let's go, I don't want standard. Manual, yeah, we'll go back to manual. I believe this particular video is actually stereo. I like super surround. Oh, there it is. Really fills the room. That's about it. So again, 2D comes in great as well as 3 dimensions. Great TV. Ultimately, it's a television. 3D, 2D, looks great, but this is not the end-all be-all to life. For viewing movies and whatnot, it's great. Throw in a nice surround sound system, and you really have a theater-like experience. And I really enjoy that, and hopefully everybody out there enjoys it. And that's really what it comes down to. Just enjoying it, but until of course the latest and greatest newer thing comes out, which should be interesting. Okay, that's all. Take care, YouTubers.